Lewis Hamilton has more to say about Mercedes' betrayal last Sunday. The trouble is, Toto Wolff isn't having it this time. He took to the media to make sure no one is buying into sabotage theories again. Stick around to find out everything about the issue. As Hamilton took the win from his teammate, the 7-time world champion admitted to having mixed feelings. Despite securing his second victory in 3 races, following his memorable win at Silverstone, Hamilton's emotions were understandably confusing. Toto Wolff had hoped for a way to recognise both drivers as winners, given Hamilton's impressive pace throughout the thrilling Grand Prix. But an unexpected strategy move by Russell, who tried to make a one-stop strategy work, was the only thing that initially kept Hamilton from victory. While Hamilton was glad to add another win to his record, the circumstances surrounding it did somewhat dampen the achievement. The 39-year-old wasn't thrilled to get his hard-earned win under these circumstances. He accused his team of not supporting his bid to challenge George Russell during the race. After the race, Lewis Hamilton realised that George had outpaced him with a one-stop strategy. Hamilton then blamed Mercedes for not allowing him to adopt his teammate's approach. He reflected on the situation in a post on his social media once the events in Belgium had settled. He wrote, "Mixed feelings for today's result. Obviously happy to get the win, but I feel for George and it's disappointing for the team not to get the 1-2. A lot of positives to take from today, though. At the start of the weekend, we didn't expect to be at the front or the pace we had, so it's great to see just how much progress has been made, and that we are in the fight. We take all these positives with us into the break, and will come back a stronger team ready to keep the momentum going." Mercedes can clearly see the positives after nabbing 3 wins in the last 4 races. Their car now looks competitive with McLaren and Red Bull on race day, even if it still falls short over a single lap. The team has also figured out how to fine-tune the W15 to get the most out of it, but Lewis Hamilton raised concerns about not being informed of teammate George Russell's one-stop strategy during the Belgian GP. In response, team principal Toto Wolff defended the choice, asserting that pitting Hamilton twice was the right thing to do. The 7-time world champion told Viaplay that he was brought in for a second pit stop, even though he had informed his team that his tyres were holding up well. Hamilton expressed frustration over Mercedes' lack of communication, noting that he wasn't made aware of his teammate's one-stop strategy. Hamilton, who is set to join Ferrari next season, felt let down by his strategists for not providing him with the full picture. But Wolff argued that Russell's one-stop strategy was a last-minute decision made after Russell requested the team consider it. He told the media, "As a driver, you don't have the full picture because he said his tyres are good, but at that stage, nobody had a one-stop on the radar. We had to cover the cars behind. So we had to cover, and you can see that everybody else went on the 2-stop. Logically, a 1-stop just wasn't on the radar. What we did with Lewis was absolutely the right thing to do. But at the end, George made them survive, which couldn't have been anticipated because if it would have been, any of the other top teams would have done it." Wolff added that, while drivers provided their input on the tyres, the team's decision was also supported by data from machines and mathematicians who helped make the right call. He said, "I think we can pick out singular events where the driver had the right idea in the race, but there's so many machines running in the background, calculating tyre degradations and pace of the others, plus a bunch of really clever mathematicians and strategies that look at that. So in my opinion, 9 out of 10 times it's the data that gives you the direction, and we are a sport needs to rely on the data. But driver input is always important, and what we encourage is great communication between the driver and the engineers that's going to give better data to the strategists. And today it correlated because at a certain stage we said, here's nothing more to lose here, and George said, can we make it a 1-stop? So then we knew." For Russell, many in the paddock agreed that this had been his best F1 victory to date, achieved purely on merit. He was the only top driver bold enough to attempt the one-stop strategy, but unfortunately his car was found to be underweight during the post-race checks. "It is heartbreaking to be disqualified from today's race," Russell said. "It had been an unbelievable Grand Prix for us to make the one-stop strategy work. In what turned out to be my final stint, the tyres just kept getting better and better. I was nursing them in the early stages, and as we went further, I became more and more convinced we could get to the end on them. It was a risk worth taking, and it looked like it had paid off. Despite the disqualification, I am of course proud to have crossed the line first. It is also good that the team was still able to take the victory with Lewis. He drove a great race and was the fastest car out there on the 2-stop strategy. Whilst I'm incredibly disappointed, I know we will bounce back stronger after the summer break, starting in Zandvoort." Former British F1 boss Peter Windsor disagrees with Hamilton's sabotage accusations on this matter. He believes that Mercedes shouldn't be blamed for not suggesting a one-stop strategy to the 105-time Grand Prix winner. During the race, Lewis Hamilton heard his race engineer, Peter Bonington, say, "Box, box," over the team radio, prompting him to head to the pit stops. Meanwhile, when George Russell received the same instructions from his team, he took charge and decided he didn't need the tyre change. Peter Windsor believes that Lewis Hamilton could have taken a page from his younger teammate's book. Hamilton might have given his feedback on the tyres to Bono and opted to skip the pit stops, rather than waiting for his crew to provide him with information. Windsor said on Cameron F1's podcast, "I don't think the team withheld information from him. I don't think, personally, I'd be surprised if Lewis is in a position to criticise his team because he wasn't on a one-stop strategy. I think that needed to come as much from the driver as it did from the team. Because it was a spontaneous thing and, the team can't be criticised." Other pundits have started to back Windsor's opinion. Former McLaren driver and current Aston Martin reserve Stoffel Vandoorne noted that Lewis Hamilton wasn't vocal enough in pursuing the one-stop strategy at Spa. Meanwhile, 9-time Le Mans winner Tom Christensen believes Hamilton's move to Ferrari is adding another layer to the intra-team battle at Mercedes. Stoffel Vandoorne, speaking on the F1 Nation podcast, suggested that many drivers, including Hamilton, were too focused on covering others' strategies. He believed Hamilton should have voiced his desire to try the one-stop strategy over the team radio, just like Russell did. "I think a lot of people were probably focused on racing each other and trying to cover each other off, rather than probably thinking, how does the tyre actually feel? And I think that's also why Lewis probably feels a little bit annoyed after this race, because he felt the tyres are good. But he probably wasn't vocal enough that they could go longer on the tyres and try to one-stop." Ferrari boss Fred Vasseur has sided with his future driver in the debate over George Russell's performance. The discussion around Hamilton's move to Ferrari in 2025 has been a hot topic. While Hamilton has enjoyed success with 2 race victories at Mercedes, he has also been outperformed by Russell on several occasions. Despite this, Vasseur has labelled Hamilton as the better racer amid the debate. Mercedes made a strong comeback in the 2024 season with their 3 race wins. Although many believed Russell was outperforming Hamilton during this period, Hamilton currently holds a higher position in the championship standings, leading Russell by 34 points. Vasseur said that there was a widespread belief early in the season that Russell was quicker than Hamilton. But he emphasised that Hamilton's contributions in terms of points have been highly valuable and efficient for the team. He told Sky Italia, "We certainly know the positive aspects of Lewis's arrival, such as his great experience. Everyone since the beginning of the season has said that Russell is faster than him, but at the moment he is the one who has brought more points to Mercedes. So in terms of efficiency, I think he is a good point of reference." Regarding Russell's performance, Vasseur acknowledged that the 26-year-old had faced some issues, but admitted that the team might have overreacted to these problems. They plan to reassess their upgrade strategy to try and regain their previous form. Hamilton's move to Ferrari will bring exciting possibilities for the upcoming season, potentially allowing the team to compete with the dominant McLaren and Red Bull. The next few races will be crucial in their battle against Mercedes. So, did Mercedes betray Lewis Hamilton once again? Or is he blowing the whole thing out of proportion? Tell us what you think in the comments section down below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.